alternative mosh pit themed event, because I want to get more into like that emo, like underground alternative scene. And I think that like for people of color and specifically like minorities, they're a very underrated group that gets overlooked in a lot of these like rock, punk, grunge areas. And yeah, I want to, even though like I'm not per se like into it, I have enough knowledge to know that if I can't do it, I know the right people that can. And I want to give them like I want to do more stuff like that where it's like, oh, like I recently partnered up with an art album, so I'm going to be doing events. I have a spot to do events in North Philly now for some of my upcoming shows in the fall. So I'm going to be trying to do like more events like that and different things, like give opportunities to people.
So yeah, I mean, that was like I really wanted to touch on the community aspect of it, especially because you got an event coming up on the 16th.
Yes, we do. Roses. Roses and Ruckus Revival of the Rage will be November 16th from 4:30 to 11 p.m. at Art Album. We have over 8 featured different artists, and let me tell you, from emo to punk rock and alternative rap, underground hip hop, like it's going to be dope. So you're gonna want to be there. Plus, we have DJ Mariama and Skullmerks killing it. So pop out, and plenty of vendors, food, clothes, art. Be there, November 16th.
So what's the motivation behind the theme of the show, like the genre specifically?
So with Revival of the Rage, it's very interesting. I started Revival of the Rage, even just the idea of it, after going to a couple like emo and goth shows. And it's super interesting, the scene, because it's such a tight-knit community. Like everyone really does kind of know each other, and they hold each other to a different sense, I feel like, of family. Because I think when it comes to the emo, goth, and alternative rock type of scene, they're usually the kids that were made fun of, or the outcasts, or the weirdos to say. So when they're all together, it's like when the nerds link up. It's a nerd party, like it's lit. So I think, and that's to say, like when the goth kids link up, like it's a goth night, and it's hella fun. And someone personally that didn't really get into or really even know about the goth or emo scene until I got a lot older, being someone that really is an outsider, to some they'd say that, oh, like I'm a poser. To have this outside view and looking in and be welcomed by that community was like, oh, this is dope. Like I want to do something for y'all. So when I was at these goth emo events, I would notice that the Black community would always be there, but it was very like, if you know, you know. And I didn't really like that. When I really asked them about like, hey, is there any like Black goth event? They all kind of were just like, what? It's not really a thing. Like, it's not really a lot of like goth emo events or goth like Black events. Like it's not a thing. Mm-hmm. So per usual, like I said, I just was like, well, if it's not a thing, it's time to make it a thing. And yeah, Roses and Ruckus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause like when you started describing it, I'm like, you know, I mean, like I grew up listening to like emo rock and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if the genre necessarily needs help, but I like how you kind of dialed in, like you're trying to elevate, you know, the Black community within that subsect of people, and it's just like, honestly, I think it's a really great thing. Like the art's not just, you know, moppy haired white kids. Like it's all types of people who deal with emotions where emo comes from.
Yeah.
And like, so your motivation behind it was just seeing these people like at these larger events and just trying to give, you know, black or brown people that opportunity to elevate themselves. And I think that's a really noble and cool thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Have you done like, besides attending those events, you haven't like curated that type of event, or at least those types of artists? Have you worked with them?
Yes, I have worked with some. It's funny enough, my first event, Bad Days with Friends, we had about 3 artists that were more like rage, mosh pit type of like rappers. So from a very early age, I've always started with curating these different acts that are completely different than like what would be the regular norm. I've never done a full event where I've gone into it being like, okay, this is an underground goth show, or this is like that. So this would be the first time that I'm ever having this like official underground goth like show or underground emo show. But I've always made sure to work with these different artists and get a chance to know them. I think it's important.
So mosh pits, have you had much experience in them?
I have been in a good amount of mosh pits. I will say though, the best mosh pit I've ever seen, not been in, I've ever seen it was a party in New York. It was a party in New York City, I think about 2021. And it was an all-girl mosh pit. And they were moshing to Doja Cat, Tia Tamara. And I never forget, those girls were in there throwing elbows. And I was scared because like they had very high heels, like they was kicking, I was like, yo, forget about the guy mosh pit. It's dangerous in there. Like they got nails. You may get cut up.
So it wasn't necessarily at like Woodstock 99 levels, but it was up there.
Nah, that might have been up there. Like I was scared to hop in that mosh pit. I was like, those girls is keeping it gangster. I'm scared.
Like, I mean, this is an exciting undertaking. Like how has it been like promoting it so far? Like, have you generated like a lot of interest? Or?
Yes, the interest has been there. And it's funny, just off of the flyer. That's why I usually love dropping the flyer saying, hey, we're looking for artists. People are always like, oh my God, like I've been waiting for this, because if you're an emo rapper or a goth singer or in an alternative rock band and you're black, like how many opportunities are really going to come through where they're like, hey, we're specifically looking for this. It's not just like, oh, if you just happen to be goth and make music, you could apply. But it's like, no. All those goth kids, all the weirdos, we want all of y'all here. Like, this is your safe home.
First off, how hard is it to like you probably get like a lot of good people, but you stuck with 8. Mm-hmm. Like, how hard is it to be like, I like you, but you're not in that lineup? Now, I mean, of course, like the good stuff rises to the top, but just like on a personal level, like how do you deal with that? That seems like a lot of pressure to just even do that.
It's hard because you got to also think a lot of the people that are applying, I do know. So it's very different when it's just like, oh, you're applying to this event and you don't really know the person, no harm, no foul. But it's like, I'm applying to this event and then I'm about to see you tomorrow. Ooh, that's a lot to explain in person why you're not the best suited for this event. But if I had to make the easy decisions, I wouldn't be in charge.
That's true. That's true. How many submissions did you get for this? Like, I mean, it sounds like it's not like it sounds like it's a big community, but like, how big it like? Did you get like dozens, hundreds? Like, what do you look?
No, we didn't get hundreds. We got this time around, I think we got about like 35 submissions. And yeah, and the first time, like I said, the first event we had about 70. But remember, that was open to all genres. And even now in the Roses and Ruckus, we had R&B singers apply, and it's even hard telling them like, all right, you may be an amazing R&B singer, but this just isn't the right event for you. Not to say we may not reach out to you for a future event, or even I think even if you would apply to the last event, you would have been perfect. But it's like finding that right middle mark, because there are plenty of times where I've done events and it's been like, oh, they're really dope, or oh, I know just who I want to see them with, but it's not the right fit. The timing doesn't really work, or the location for other artists, different stuff like that. Yeah.
So speaking of locations, Art Album, can you talk about that location a little bit?
Yes, Art Album is sponsoring the event. We're very lucky to be having Roses and Ruckus there. Art Album is at 4700 Wissahickon Avenue, and we're not that far from the H-Bus. I think it's the XH bus, whatever that is. Drops you right off there. Nice little compound, and we're entrance C.
How did that come about as far as just like them sponsoring and like opening their space up to you?
Yeah, well, really shout out to Ozuna from Art Album. I had been working with him for a little bit on some different things that had to do with Art Album, and we had built a relationship. And after I had kind of told him what my interests were, the things I was planning on doing, he really took interest to Roses and Ruckus and another future event, we'll say. And we decided to sponsor this event that would be a good fit for us and to feature it there. So, excited.
It's 2 a.m. in Philly. I'm thinking about you silly. But I ain't about to stress. Less is about to check. The more you want to talk, the more you want to text. The more we disagree, the less I start to care. Blaming it on me, and honestly it's fair. But I'm right now, fuck up next. Need a big bag, in a duplex. I'm right here, where you at? They talk big, and that's all cap. I talk money, and that's all facts. Made a big bag, off a loud pad. Got a badge on, need a new flex. Why I'm like this, cause I'm complex.